My name is Julie Tait and I work for North East Ambulance Service. I've worked since 1995.
Hi, my name's Ellen Scott. I work for North East Ambulance Service as a paramedic. Started in 1994 on patient transport service.
Well, you've both had really long careers with the ambulance service and probably have a few more years left in you as well. But when you tell people that you're a paramedic or that you work for the ambulance service, how do they react?
They automatically say, "Oh, tell me about some of the jobs. It must be really interesting. And what do you do? And do you go to car crashes?" And just ask like the general
So a lot of it's
questions.
how do you cope with children? Yeah, how are you coping with children? Oh, I don't think I could do it. I don't like blood.
And is it like that? Is it because when you imagine the work that a paramedic does and they're going out to some horrific accidents or incidents that have happened where, if you've got a paramedic coming to see you, it's generally not going to be at one of the high points in your life, is it? Something bad has generally happened, but they would, of course, be pleased to see it. Is it like that? Is every day, could every day have that kind of incident in it?
Potentially every day you don't know what you're going to. You could be just going to a routine abdominal pain and then you could be pulled off that. You could go to a cardiac arrest, somebody not breathing, a child choking, a maternity. So yes, you just don't know. Some days you just do routine work where it is just medical jobs, and then you get your trauma and your road traffic accidents. So it's a very varied job.
Was it what you always wanted to do?
For me, years ago, I was on a nursing course and we had two guys in from Northumbria Ambulance Service, and they gave us a talk on their role and what they did, and I was hooked from there. I thought, yeah, this is really what I want to do.
What was it about what they said that made you want to do it?
They were just so enthusiastic, and they obviously loved their job so much, and helping people at their worst point. So yeah, it was from speaking to them and their experiences. Yeah, that I definitely had a change in career.
So you changed from going to be a nurse to being on the front line. Yes. Before somebody gets into hospital. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You started in the mid-90s, and we're now in 2020, and we've all been living through a global pandemic. Things have changed significantly in that time. When you think about your job, your career, how have things changed for you in that respect over the last 20 plus years?
I think the workload has drastically increased within the years. Our workload has probably quadrupled to what we used to do. We do a lot more medical than we do. Years ago, it was like lots of trauma.
Yeah.
Road traffic. So you don't really seem to get bad road traffics like you got years ago because cars are made differently. People are educated to wear seatbelts. Children are strapped into the cars more securely, where years ago, I don't think the education was there for the general public. So we had quite a lot of like road traffics where we don't really get as many fatal and serious as we would have done like in the early 90s.
You both kind of like chimed up in agreement there that your workload has increased. And for a workload to have quadrupled over that time, that sounds really intense. So you say that you're kind of like more going out and tending to scenes of accidents and major incidents, and now it's more medical. Is that because was somebody else doing that medical side, or have people's ailments and illnesses? Like, is it to do with the older population? What are you doing that you weren't doing previously?
Yeah, there is a lot of older people. We go out to a lot of care homes, a lot of elderly people at home who are struggling. And accident and emergency is not always the right place for them. So if we can assess them correctly and appropriately at home, and get them into the right place, whether it's to be cared for at home or whether it's to go to accident emergency or maybe to an assessment unit, the emphasis is on what's right for the patient.
Absolutely. And that's your decision to make then, is it, at that time?
Yeah, we do make a lot of those decisions, but we also have good support. We've got clinical staff who we can ring. We've got, when we can get hold of them, GPs, as well as out of hours GPs. So we do have a lot of background support if we're unsure, or who we can ask for some further advice.
What do you think is the biggest myth when it comes to being a paramedic?
Gosh, I
didn't prepare that question. Yeah. I think people
there might not be one.
think we can do more than what we can do. I think.
No, I sort of like a little bit disagree with that, because a lot of people, I don't think they realise like how much we actually do. Like,
Yeah.
in like a life-threatening, if it was like a cardiac arrest, how the skills have massively advanced, how we can drill straight into the bone, into somebody's leg to get fluids and drugs in quite quickly, and things that that have just massively advanced over the years from when we become paramedics initially. The drugs that we carry, the advanced skills that we have. We have skills now where we can leave patients at home with medications and support networks.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time when emotionally what you've been working on or what you've had to attend has floored you?
Well, one that really sticks in my mind. I mean, it was when I was an advanced technician doing my technician course. I went to the Selby rail crash, which I think is about 20 years ago now. I don't think anybody could have prepared us for the scene that we witnessed on that morning. So that's probably one of my most memorable things in my career that would always probably stick with me, really.
What was that like?
Carnage, really. It was, it was quite ironic because the day before our training, we'd been doing the Paddington rail disaster. So we'd just been like practicing of all the things that if you ever came to like a real major incident, what you would do. And then the next day we were called, as we were still advanced tech, we were just doing our advanced technician course in York, and we were called to that job, and we ended up being, I think it was like the third ambulance on scene, and it was, there was so many emergency services, and it was just, and yes, there was like 30, well, there was 11 dead at that job in Selby. So yes, it was a difficult one, and it will always like stay with you.